And we are live on this Monday. It is 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock for you Pacific kids. That means it is time for you, the Jeff Meacham Network. Let's see, we got Galaxy with no DQ, we got University WWE, the Jeff Meacham Network, and the Casa D-18 Studios. Audience en masse. We'll get a better name later. Anyway,
family
welcome to DADS.
of friends.
Yes, right. Circle of friends. There we go. That's yeah. Anyway, welcome to Ask the Dads. It is Monday. I am West Coast Special Jeff Meacham. He is the Renegade JJ Williams. And man, we don't have a whole lot of set stuff, as you said on so very eloquently on Twitter. We ain't got a lot of diatribes to get into today, but there are opportunities for you guys to ask questions because there's a lot been going on, even since Friday when we had our open mic night and we got into a lot of heavy shit. And he and I got his heavy shit over the weekend that we didn't even film, which looking back, probably should have filmed that stuff, but that's okay. Therapy sessions were a thing, but great week coming up here on the Jeff Meacham Network. You saw the trailer, of course, for the rest of the month. We've got a lot of great things coming up. I actually have something related to Thursday's show we'll get into here in just a short, but I do want to remind everybody out there in the greater universe watching us that we do have a promotion going on regarding super chats, don't we, Uncle Jay?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. For all of you guys out there watching, if we can get to $100 by the end of April, May 1st, we will do the watch along for WrestleMania Backlash with Noah Foster and James Hebert calling the action, and me and the professor giving our comments in between matches, throwing our 2 cents in during the matches, just like we did for not one, but both nights of WrestleMania, much like we're going to do for Impact Wrestling later this month. But we will be doing it for a non-Big Four pay-per-view, which is much to the chagrin, at least of James.
Yes.
But we're already almost halfway there, folks, and it's only been 1 week. We kicked this promotion off last Monday.
Yes.
So please, oh please, keep the super chats coming in. Your questions will be first and foremost to get answered today if it has a super chat attached to it.
Of course.
Otherwise, we're just going to go in order that we see. But if we see that super chat attached, you will be the next question that we get to.
That's it. It's called priority based on your number draw. And hey, you know what? Just like the DMV, you draw that number, you get that worker's attention, you go to the head of the class, kids. So
right.
Gonna be fun. And like I said, we enjoy everybody being here. I don't know who got blocked on Twitter, but I don't know why either, Daniel. I don't know why that was a thing, but we will check that out. So we got comments coming in. James, of course, is there. I didn't miss it. No, brother. Nope, you didn't. We still got till technically the super chats are going till the end of April. April 30th is the last day, 11:59. And then, of course, May 1st, we'll check the results out. And I don't know why they didn't. Okay, we're gonna have one of those days with technology. Cool. Okay, very good. Daniel, are you sure you didn't say anything to me on Twitter? Because Lord knows I get cranky on the tweeter. So could have been something.
Yes, he does. But, and I doubt it was me that blocked you because I'm barely ever on the tweeter.
I was gonna say he really. It definitely had to be me, but
If you see a tweet from me, 99.99999% of the time, it's something to do promoting this. And no,
exactly,
James,
exactly.
no, he hasn't done that yet. We
Oh
just
no,
barely
I have.
came on the air.
You know what? I actually have honestly forgot to cue that up, so I'm good. I'm glad he said that. So I will do that while we're and again, Daniel, I would go through your tweets and double check because honestly, I don't block for no reason. I really don't. So there's definitely was something there's something there that I saw that didn't tickle my fancy the right way. Now, I do have an apology to make to these guys right here, SCW, the wrestling channel, because I told them 2 weeks before WrestleMania that once I got the WrestleMania room set up and ready to go to call the action, I would invite them in, and I didn't. And partly because I flat out forgot. Honest to God, partly because we had a crowded room as it was, and it was going to be a technology fail. So it was just it was a number of things leading to ultimately it not happening. So I do apologize sincerely for not including you guys, and you are more than welcome to come on during our Impact Watch Along on April 23rd. If we do end up doing Backlash, which again, if super chats come in, we'll do it. Like we said, we did promise you guys we would do that, and
Yeah.
at least for this month, it will be include James and Noah calling it. You know, down the line, if we get it, we'll probably leave it to he and I, so we don't have to burden James and Noah with any more B pay-per-views.
Right.
because those poor bastards do enough as it is. But
Yeah. I mean,
again,
I
yeah,
won't be there for the Impact pay-per-view because I've got
right.
no way to see it. So by all means, SCW gentlemen, you're more than welcome to take my slot on that day
There
because
you
I
go.
won't be here. If anything, I'll just be watching at home, throwing comments in the comment room.
Very true. As he do, but that's okay. It's gonna again. We actually, I'm surprised. I actually been looking forward to the watch alongs because I for a long time I wasn't enjoying it. It was just like, okay, well, I need content, so let's just do it. But having the team that we've assembled, I've been enjoying it, so it's gonna be cool. So
Man, I'm not trying to put us over too much, but we really have come together like the Avengers. Each
right,
one has their ability, their
yes,
strength, and when we all come together as a team, it just works.
yes.
It just works.
Yes, I'm like the anti Bruce Wayne though. I ain't got a dime to my name, but I can sure throw shit together and make it happen. Tell you what. So it's kind of
I
works
would
out the
say
way.
you're the Hulk of the crew.
Well, only in certain ways, brother.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. I feel like I'm the Hawkeye, unfortunately. It's like here I am with all these superpowered individuals, and I got a bow and arrow.
Hey, you know what?
James
It's
and Noah are definitely our Tony and our Steve. They're the
yes,
two that pull the team together when it comes to those watch alongs, baby. They are the
have to,
two
right?
leaders.
Lordy. Okay, well, for some reason this is not loading right because again, it's me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and make it go faster. But in the meantime, while I load the picture, I did we did talk about
Yes.
for James, and again, James, it's coming. I promise. I'm just trying to get it to load. I will say
That's true,
this.
Michael. That's true. The Avengers don't lose when they have Hawkeye.
There you go. See,
I
that's
mean,
exactly.
it's definitely not a bad thing, but
Well, Endgame was a mucker
I,
for
I
poor Hawkeye, though. So
I'd love to toot my own horn and be like, yeah, I'm Thor up in this, but yeah, no,
yes.
no.
So apparently, your dad likes the facial edition. He's liking the goat. So there you go.
Thank you. Been trying to get it back here.
Yes.
It was coming in last week, but it wasn't near as dark last Monday as it is today.
No. And Jerry, I told him whatever he does, whatever he may do with that facial, do not grow it as douchey as Kent French on the Ducks broadcast. Don't ever do that, or he'll be fired on the spot. No.
That's Mikey we have to worry about with that one.
Well, no. Mikey was already doing the whole freaking porn star 70s mustache. And as I said that, your daughter walks in, and that's happy. That's just
Yeah.
lovely as I say that. Jesus Christ almighty. Hell in the handbasket already. Okay, well, anyway, hi from the next room. Hello there.
Right. Well,
Jesus.
to be fair, she was under the weather today and actually stayed home from school today.
Ooh.
So
Now,
thank you, Natalie, for all the stuff that you could be doing, like,
making up
resting,
homework or,
getting some sleep, doing the steps to make yourself feel better. Thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one more view, damn it.
that's right. It's one more view than we had left before. But yeah, go
And
get
of
some
course,
rest.
my
Go
dad's cracking up, so
Of course, well, of course, that's just the way it works. But yeah, I'm in the naughty stuff. Your daughter walks in, and your dad gets to laugh at it. That's how we roll on this show, so it's okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. I think I have it loaded now. Finally, I hope I do. Anyway, let's just try to do this without a freaking hassle. So during it was open mic night. We talked about it, right? Am I right there?
Yes.
Okay, so during open mic night, I had mentioned that Dylan had been getting wrestling figures bought for him for his birthday in the last week. And as of now, 3 of the 4 figures in the set needed to build your own Vince McMahon figure have been assembled, much like the Avengers, as we talked about. However, the first figure we got in the collection was Stone Cold Steve Austin of those 4. And if you're going to build a Vince McMahon figure out of 4 figure packages, they're going to have Vince's head in that package because that's just how it would work, because nobody would have Vince's head more likely than Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
Austin would definitely have either the head or the torso, which he has to kick to hit the stunner on McMahon. So,
Yeah, well, try to anyway. Kind of didn't work out for him last week, but
yeah,
I promised James that I would give him and our viewing audience something we've all been wanting for so many years. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Literally Vince McMahon's head on a silver platter. There you go. There it is, folks. For your viewing enjoyment, we're just going to leave that there for a minute while we talk, because that's just too funny not to have there for all time. All right.
I think that's like every AEW fan's dream right there. Vince's
right?
head on a platter.
Yes, as Virtue would say, all the AE warlocks and all AEW witches are here for it. And just for shits and giggles, we've only got 3 of the figures so far, and it actually looks like this right now. And I think I'm going to leave him like this just to make him, not have a leg to stand on. Anyway, there you go.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. Anyway, that's it. But yeah, having Vince at my mercy with only half his body kind of just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and I'm kind of cool like that. Anyway, thank you, James. And of course, Mike Gonzalez is in the chat room. And Natalie's doing it right by what she's actually doing instead of resting. So I'm okay with it, girl. All right. So since we're going to leave Vince's head there for a second, I'm going to go ahead and get to our buddy Chris's question, because he did ask it last week, and I brushed it off because I wasn't prepared for the question to come in. It really needed full attention. So Chris asked us last week, actually asked me prior to Talk Wrestling last week. Let me be clear on that. If I could manage 1 male and 1 female superstar from Raw, SmackDown, and AEW, who would I help work with and why? So I promised on the tweeter, we're just going to call it the tweeter from now on. We're just going to leave it as that name on the dads, along with everything else. All the other lame ass jokes we use, Sid's leg, Roma's horrible horsemanship, yeah, just life. On the tweeter, I did say that I would take the time and actually think about this. And I really came down to a very simple answer for me. You asked who I would help. I really don't necessarily think these 2 need help in anything but the actual talking department. And honestly, it's one of those where one of them has really come into their own in talking during their most recent run. However, if I'm going to actually get the opportunity to work in WWE and I have the opportunity to help people, I'm going to help with promos, because everybody that I've talked to has told me I'm a decent promo man at best, and probably not much else, because I'm 330 pounds and I have no physical ability whatsoever. I'm about as physically athletic as Vince McMahon on WrestleMania Sunday. So there you go. Hey, probably Vince even less, because he's jacked. So
Vince McMahon got the pinfall over McAfee, though, whereas his protege Austin Theory could not do it.
No, but at the end of the day, we have Vince's head on the platter, so I'm just going to leave that there. So there you go. I would take on Brock and Ronda. I mean, that's the easy answer for me. I would take on Brock and Ronda, because Brock, although he's come along quite well, could definitely use a Heyman person, and that's, I've been compared to Paul many times. Not that I'm comparing myself to Paul the overall, because Paul's the GOAT when it comes to that stuff, but in that category. And Ronda, as much of a badass as she is, she's not a badass on the mic at all. Like, her facial expressions are very much, girl, I'm going to rip your arm off. And she probably would for real, but her promos are just meh. So I would definitely take over that particular front. Over in AEW, I would gladly kick Dan Lambert's stupid ass and manage my boy Scorpio Sky. Definitely would get in that department, and that way I could be, the co-TNT champion and hold the belt again, because I miss doing that on the regular. On the female side, I don't really know, because there's a lot of female talent in AEW that have been booked poorly one way or the other, and the only one I really get deep into as of right now anyway is Britt, and she don't need help on the promos or the in-ring work. If I'm taking Dan Lambert's spot, I automatically kind of inherit Paige Van Zant, which I'm not opposed to. So those are my answers to give you your answer, Chris. JJ, what about you? Who would you go and cultivate their presentation in WWE and AEW?
Well, keeping in mind how little knowledge I have of the AEW product,
Right.
For starters, on the male side of things, I think it would be kind of cool to work with Pillman Jr.
Yes. Very
I
true.
feel like just that little oomph could really help get his ball rolling. For the females over there, the only ones that I know really well, I don't think really need help with promos.
No, not necessarily.
But I would probably pick Jade, because I know she's lacking in other categories.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd be able to help her along there.
Okay.
Over in WWE, I love my girl to death, but she's always been kind of cringe on the microphone, Natalya. So I would pick up Natty. And then for the guys, I know they just made the jump, but I'd probably take Walter and Ludwig, from Imperium.
Yeah, I mean, I like both those guys, and left to their own devices, they do very well with what little they have to say. But if they're going to be on SmackDown, they're going to need more help for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ludwig did a pretty good job introducing Gunther, but number one, we don't want him to be resorted to a managerial role for long, because he's amazing in the ring.
Yeah, Marcelo Barthel does definitely not need to be a mouthpiece for very, very long. He's too good to be out there just doing nothing. Oof.
So
same with Fabian Eichner if they bring him over as well. And
So
I'm proud because I got everybody's name right. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat myself on the back for that one and move right along. Because I usually get their names.
That's where I would go with it. I kind of marked out seeing Marcel come up and introduce Gunther.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm like, why is he introducing him?
Right.
I preferred to watch them in the tag team work more than I did watching Walter.
Yep. Yeah.
Hopefully nothing against Gunther Walter. I just missed the era of hype with him. In the few shows that I saw, I was more impressed with the team as opposed to the solo.
Yes. We love you too, Nat. Just go like you say, go get some rest once your sibling allows you the ability to do so.
And before we go any further, let's get to Big G's super chat here.
Well, I was going to lead into it because James gave a hell of a push for it because, we're halfway there. Oh, Backlash is a scare. That's right. Because Big G has put us over the 50. Congratulations to everybody. We're over halfway. Big G says cheap plug, Celebfest, mate. It's 4 as an FOR because he's trying to get the super chat in there. Got it. May 15th, come meet JTG. We've talked about him recently. And the National Treasure himself, Nick Aldis, courtesy of Parker Kane Promotions. Info on Facebook at Baltimore Celebfest 4. Well, there you go. See, He's doing what I do in no DQ. He's still in the super chat, but he's getting this shit in. Big
That's
G's
right.
learning from the masters, and we're happy you're here today, Big G. So thank you. We appreciate
That's
it, brother.
right. That's right. As a matter of fact, G, we'll make sure we throw that up before we do our sign-offs today, just so
Yes,
we can get one
definitely.
more plug in for you.
I will see if I
That
can look
that
for
would
the
be cool.
info.
If I was in the Baltimore area, I'd probably look into that because I'd love to see JTG again.
Yep, definitely. And I still have not met Nick and tried to find out why I was blocked. So I'd love to do that too. Jeez. I actually threw in a chat thing on Mickey James's IG yesterday. It's like I was gonna go on the cruise, but it's so close to Mania and money's a muckerfuther. So
Yes.
so hopefully we'll be able to take care of that. Okay. We're gonna take Vince off the screen here just for a moment because I know it's a popular thing, and I do want to make sure we keep him around. So we'll go
James,
ahead and
make sure you screen cap that real quick. If you haven't gotten the picture sent to you by Jeff, screen cap it real quick because he's about to
yes,
take it down.
there it
5,
is.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So over the weekend, we had a few things that were brought up within the wrestling circle. Of course, we lost Scott Hall last month, not too long before WrestleMania, and the pick. If you don't follow these guys on social media, which I think every one of these guys is worth at least a social media follow on Twitter or on Twitter, because they're a blast to listen to. They're a blast to watch. They're a blast to read. But of course, Cody Hall is in the middle of the two DX founders, if you will, there between Hunter and Sean. And of course, our buddy X-Pac, Sean Waltman, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and Big Sexy himself, Kevin Nash. Lane's got to rest on Friday. This was posted on Saturday along with a message from Cody talking about Scott and talking about carrying on the legacy. And I thought that was a cool shot. And I mean, it's never a cool thing, obviously, to have to do that. And it still is it's still sucking, honestly, it's still really hard to process the fact that Scott's gone even now, a month later almost. But it was a nice tribute. I mean, a beautiful setup there you can see there. And anytime you get DX and the Click and DDP in a monkey suit, you're good to go. So because they do clean up nicely, those guys. So very cool to see everybody turn out, and I'm sure there was much more love presented than even what we got to a brief glimpse of on the socials. On the flip side, there was quite the shindig the next night out here in the Palm Desert area, because Little Miss Bliss finally tied the knot with her boy Ryan Cabrera. Okay, this is gonna be where I mark out here for a minute my own self, because I've never been a fan of the group, for the record, but I know the guy across the hall from me is. Joey Fatone and Lance Bass were both at the ceremony. And there were several versions of the clip posted on various people's stories, but the entire wedding party with Alexa up on stage with the NSYNC boys doing Bye Bye Bye, I fell out laughing. It was hysterical and it was adorable, like make you sick adorable. It was so cute. Like I just got a kick out of the whole thing. Everybody seemed to be having fun. She who used to be called Nia Jax almost kicked Miz's ass walking down the aisle, which I thought was funnier than hell, because Mike was doing Miz things and just being that freaking ham and cheese sandwich up there. Great stuff. And again, we had this wedding, we had Corey and Carmella toward the end of last week. So spring tends to bloom this stuff, Jay. And I am happy for people that I've had the chance to know or interact with that are getting married, getting engaged, having the babies, doing all the things. So very, very cool to see people that we know and people that we've heard or seen struggle through romantic relationships get there, especially in Alexa's case, a very fairy tale type wedding. So very, very cool.
Yes.
So let's see here. JJ. So JJ, by the way, is James is recommending to you matches for Walter versus Pete Dunne, which was an awesome match within the NXT circle. Both matches with Dragunov, which, man, they didn't get quite to the bloody level of blood as far as JBL and Cena or JBL and Eddie, but the intensity is up in it. So definitely recommend those two to you as well. Tyler Bate over at Blackpool, the Undisputed Era versus Imperium and Worlds Collide. Just that's the thing with both those squads. They never got the presentation on the quote unquote big stage because they didn't need it. NXT and NXT UK presented those guys so well. So hopefully SmackDown will be kind to the gentleman now known as Gunther and Ludwig, which, as we found out during the course of Open Mic Night, that was going to be another Nazi name they were going to use. It was like,
And I love how James made sure to capitalize Walter.
oh yeah, oh,
we
yeah.
don't talk about Gunther here. We talk about Walter.
That's right. Yes. We talk about Walter. We talk about Fabian Eichner. We talk about Marcel Barthel. I'm saying the last name wrong. Forgive me. I'm still working on it. We talk about Bruno Sammartino on this show. We talk about these people. Damn it. So anyway, but yeah. So it was a good weekend. I am still uploading the pictures. They're not uploading well, but I will say this. He and I did get a chance to go out to a few places this weekend. Actually, we went out to
we actually got to hang out for the first time in 6 months.
Yes, we saw each other in person, even like all up. Like we actually got to like do the bro hug and like high five. And I got to meet his girlfriend, who, as I knew, was a doll, and she was a sweetheart. I offered them money for gas because Metrolink done me over the weekend. For the record, you guys lucky I didn't hit someone's at your window to really have a conniption on. But rather than that, she bought my boy a WWE figure at one of the many, and I do emphasize many, booths at Frankensons, which actually was the third component of Mr. McTorso here. So
yes, any of you guys that are not in the SoCal area, if you ever come out here to visit WrestleMania, trips to Disneyland, we highly recommend making a stop at Frankensons. And if you are in the SoCal area and you have never been to Frankensons, if you're a nerd, what are you waiting for? Because
exactly,
Disney, wrestling, sci-fi, horror, anime, all those nerddoms just come together in one huge warehouse indoor swap meet type of facility.
Exactly. Everybody's heard stories, on this channel and on your channel and on No DQ even about Frankensons and the meet and greets they've had there and everything, and it's so much better now. Oh my god, it's properly ventilated. There's actually working air conditioning because it was hotter than a mucker for this weekend, especially out there in the City of Industry out there where we were. It was crazy. We get to run into some old friends we haven't seen in a while there. Actually, there's if you guys are familiar with the WWE Defining Moments series, that I think it was still Mattel. It was already been Mattel at that point. They put out of Hogan from WrestleMania 3. Well, Dylan and his kiddom decided to mark it up with a red marker to make it a bloody Hulk Hogan, because that's just the way kids are. So I found one that actually had the same basic facial and physical structure as that figure, just a red band in as opposed to yellow. And one of the vendors had it, and I bought it. So that's going to be on display over here coming up throughout the rest of our time here, whenever that may be. I still have to get a few figures out and put them out there, but I am working on the display here. We'll show you that later on today.
And Jeff, what did we learn about Frankensons? What is the first rule?
You don't buy at the first place you stop.
And what's the second rule?
You still don't buy at the first place you stop.
Yes. Shane, yes, better than Hot Topic.
Yes.
This is not a corporate in every single mall across America entity. This is very, very special. Just one location. Some of the prices may be a little bit on the higher end, but you're also looking at out of production, out of print stuff, stuff that people collected. They went and they bought these things at Target, Walmart, etc. when they came out, and they're not available no more. So instead of paying the $15 or the $20 that those places would have charged, now you're going to pay $30 or maybe $40 for it. But it's stuff that, it's hard to find. Some of it is custom.
Yes.
Some of it is costumes for cosplayers. They have masks and stuff.
They do indeed.
They have sword replicas, both plastic and metal.
Oh yeah. Like you will find like legitimate like blacksmiths and woodworkers and things. It's basically walking into a combination of indoor swap meet and like a the old ghost town stuff at Knott's Berry Farm. It's kind of like a jack of all trades type store, but like I said, it's a huge warehouse. The majority of it is action figures and the like, but you walk in there, you find some stuff you didn't necessarily expect to see. Great example at the old location. He and I were there. I want to say it was there. I'm sorry. Dad, Dylan, and I were there to see Rob in 2016 when he came out. And exactly, there you go. And I at the time had misplaced my 2012 Stanley Cup ring that the Kings bestowed upon the fans, courtesy of Fox Sports West, which is now Valley Sports West. So I don't even know why I threw that plug out there. That's okay. So I saw that this vendor had it, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to find it anywhere less expensive on eBay. So I said, you know what? I go ahead and get it. Ended up finding it after we finally moved back into the other house, and now Dylan has his own Stanley Cup ring. So that was kind of cool. But it's just the weird, like you don't expect to come across it. It's like, there you go. Another great example. We were walking through, and the goal of the day, Frank says, was to find gifts for his girlfriend's children. So we were walking and
decorate the new place once we get it.
Exactly. So we came across this one store that, as he mentioned, there was a action figure store that was very much horror themed in nature. Mm-hmm. And we came around the corner and looked, and there it was in all its glory, the NECA figure of Roddy Piper as John Nada from They Live. And we were like, God damn it. Because like it was one of those, like, there were two left, and we're not going to be back out there right away. They will be. I won't be. So will it be here next week? That's the thing you run into there. It's like people got, 20 Hulk Hogan figures or, 300, whatever the current stuff, but that Nada figure may not be there in 7 days. Yeah. That's where the swap meet, that's where the rarity stuff comes in. It's like, God darn it. So hopefully they get their hands on it in the next 7 days if they get to go out there
Definitely. Again. Big G, I see your comment about the wife and you are planning for WrestleMania and Disney next year. I highly recommend that if you want to try to work this into your planning, you figure for maybe the Wednesday before Mania to be here until whenever you want to leave after Mania. If you want to be in town for the Raw after, go home on the Tuesday, whatever, because Frankensons is only open Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Yep. Saturday, Sunday, you're already going to be occupied with Mania, so that only gives you the Wednesday to be able to go.
Yep. Thursday
can be your Disney day. Friday is the Hall of Fame and whatever other promotions are running shows in the area, to try to capitalize on the Mania hype.
Yes. I would also, and I know JJ wasn't part of this discussion, the group discussion yet, but I did have a tentative plan out there to have the No DQ team at an Airbnb in the area. So I had said everybody fly out Wednesday. That way, live Greg Cherry show on location would be the first thing we do that week for WrestleMania week. So, but yeah. So yeah, Wednesday, honestly, I mean, if you fly into either LA or Ontario, it's right there. So it's not that big a deal to get out to City of Industry from Frankensons from either airport. Good wrestling question here from James, and since he's on the team, I'm not going to make him pay for it. If WWE releases Imperium, do you think those three plus maybe Eichner and Eichner is Dragunov, but okay. He meant Wolf. God, okay. So the 4 original Imperium guys, because Eichner Wolf, of course, has been released not too long ago, and Dragunov would work best in AEW or somewhere else. Personally, MLW would be a shoe-in. Again, I am zero familiar with MLW, so that's 100% my ignorance and my bad. And I've said this before, and I know JJ doesn't watch a whole lot of it, unfortunately. AEW has such a roster. They're going to have freaking diabetic comas from all the swelling. Like, there's just too many damn people on that roster. So AEW is probably not a good fit.
See, and I would go with AEW if for no other reason. The NXT commissioner, William Regal, is now there. And how cool would it be to have them align themselves with Regal?
Very true.
and
Very
have
true.
him be their manager after being the commissioner during their main run anyways.
True. Very true.
Like if anybody is going to know them,
Yes.
and if Regal still has Danielson and Moxley, then you can already have like this little boil over about here's these guys, what's going to happen with us.
Right. So hope again. I hope they don't get released. I hope they take these guys farther than we're all, projecting negatively is going to be a thing out there. But the beautiful part about wrestling right now, and again, I say this every week on one of my shows at least, there's not a lack of places to go like there was 21 years ago when WCW and ECW both went belly up. WWE was the only game in town for a full year as far as mainstream goes. And yes, WWE is still the mainstream, like we are the company. But AEW's there, the NWA is there, Impact's there, Ring of Honor's back under the AEW umbrella, technically. But yes, and there's MLW, like you guys mentioned out there. There's Marquez's promotions. There's so many options for a wrestler if they want to do full time and make it this is what I do and only what I do. Cool. You want to be a weekend warrior? You've got the
Ring
other
of
promotion.
Honor.
So Ring of Honor, exactly. So there are options.
Most
So
definitely. Just
and
a
Matt,
friendly reminder, we've got about a half hour before the end of the show. If you want to get your questions answered quicker, make those super chat donations so that we can get to the $100 goal. Piss James off so that he has to come in and keep his word and call this WrestleMania Backlash.
That's right.
He's probably going to get mad at me pushing it so hard because then we are going to hit it.
Right.
He's hoping I'll stop pushing it so that people will forget.
That's
but
it.
Get those super chats in so that we can hit that marker and bring you guys backlash. See, look, ugh.
Poor James. He tries so hard. Oh,
Matt,
Lord.
we are doing well today. Thank you very much.
Yes, I was going to say, I saw that. I meant to put it up there and I didn't. Where did it go?
We were in the middle of some other stuff.
There it is. Matt, we're doing great. We always happy to see you in the chat room, brother. We appreciate you coming by, brother. And yes, as Matt always, I'm gonna be Matt to the punch. Make sure y'all, if you haven't subscribed to the channels yet, both channels, keep that in mind. Please do that. JJ will be coming back. We said it wasn't gonna be April Fool. Ended up being it, but at least it was an April Fool by design. Housing is a mucker for, especially in Southern California. So we're working on it.
It really wasn't. Please believe me when I say that it will be back. Jeff knows I've been in planning stages for other content that I want to bring and resurrect to the channel once I do relaunch, so that it's not just movie reviews. It's not just non-wrestling content, but I'm looking to have a diversity of all kinds of stuff. Once I do relaunch, I just have to wait until I get my own studio that I can do it in the privacy.
And the beautiful part is when he does relaunch, I had this ridiculous, almost to the point of obnoxiousness. Ask them; they got to hear all about it. Planning of, okay, I need to have content to fill spots. So we'll just do this. And I drove myself and everybody in my circle crazy. Once he comes back, between the content he has planned that he'll allow me graciously to simulcast and what we have planned for non-Super Fridays, and we'll get more into that as we get more into it, I'm good now. I don't have to worry about stuff that's literally going to come off as what it is, which is filler and crap.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
And I'll be having brand new content Monday through Friday. Weekends are still up in the air at this point, but I am hoping to have weekend content as well. It just won't all be movie reviews. I'm looking to scale those back to 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right.
That way there's a little bit more, like I said, diversity and variety when we come back.
Yes. As the great Mr. Spock said, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. So
that's right.
And JJ, you mentioned your studio when you get set up, the privacy, the ability to record at your will. I I shared this with a few people in the circle over the weekend, but I'm just so happy this is finally a thing that I want to share with everybody before we get to more questions. I am over the moon that I finally have the setup I've been wanting. Yes, that is how it's laid out when it's during the day and I'm actually working. This is basically actually what it looks like right now. You just can't see anything beyond what you see on screen here, which is the green screen. But yeah, and this is something that's been a long time coming because you guys have known I've been doing these shows since 2002, video since 2004, my own show since 2007 on Aaron's channel, my own podcasting channel since the beginning of 2020. So this is really 2.5 years in the making, but if you really think about it, this is a good 20 in the making, because when I first started with Aaron and the No DQ team, I was in the other house, not near enough the space I have now, and nowhere near the amount of opportunities for privacy and not being bothered except by the dog because she doesn't listen. Hey, excuse you. I told you to go lay down. I know they're not home yet. Go bark at the door. Maybe they'll come through. Go on. Go see. Go see. Hurry up. Go. I love my dog, but yeah. Anyway, so I am just happy this is finally a thing. And yes, Mickey's still here. I've had that Mickey almost as long as actually longer than I've had Dylan. So yeah, it's he's old and beat up and feeble, but he's okay. Anyway, so I'm happy with my presentation. I'm happy I got to do that.
Yeah.
So yes, James did point it out. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, James, yeah, we are planning tentatively. We're going to try to work technology out because that's going to be a mucker further in of itself. It's going to be for Double or Nothing. Revolution's already the one in the past, so we'll go ahead and I'll just ignore the R word. Double or Nothing, because as of right now, he and I aren't going to be there past the UWW show, but we will be at our desks for the weekend, and then I'm going to be at Dynamite the following Wednesday, June 1st at the Forum. So massive AEW coverage that whole week and a half. It's going to be awesome. So, so there is a good question. And while it wasn't super chatted, we're not at the point where we need to have be back in the line. So, sticking to Mania tickets, etc. How should we prepare ourselves? Should we arrive early to beat traffic? Yes.
Yes.
You in LA.
I highly recommend that you start looking to book your room for Mania no later than SummerSlam.
Yep.
Start looking. And you should have a room booked no later than by Survivor Series.
Yep.
Especially if you want to try to be close to the area as possible. I would recommend trying to get rooms closer to Staples Center.
Right.
Because more than likely that's going to be where SmackDown is. That's where the Raw after Mania is going to be. That's probably where the Hall of Fame, the NXT show that weekend, all that will probably be right there.
Yep. Yeah.
And then take the blue line to the green line, I believe it is, out to the stadium.
Yep.
For the show.
Yes.
Plan to get out there super duper early.
Yep.
Because you don't want to be bogged down in commuter traffic, even on the trains. But the trains are cheaper, then you don't got to pay for parking. Nope. You're looking at spending roughly $5 round trip, I believe. It's been a minute since I've taken the trains. But roughly about $5 to $10 round trip to get there and back.
Yeah. Figure right now the
Metro paying the cost of gas, which is in downtown LA between $6.50 and $7 a gallon.
Right.
Plus parking.
Yeah.
Food wise, eat something fast food or near the facility before you go in.
Yep.
Stadium food prices, you're looking at $10 for a hot dog, $15 for nachos, probably $15 for a soda.
More than that for a beer.
Down the street from the stadium, I believe, because the new stadium is near the Forum, right? Like
yes, right next door. Right next door. Okay. Yep.
So just down the street is the original Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I highly recommend, especially if you're not a SoCal native, going there.
Very true.
Big time.
Yeah, no, y'all's gas
Big
prices
time.
are not high in Pittsburgh. We are getting gutted out here. And I will say this.
Yeah.
The good part about a football stadium, as far as SoFi goes, the Crypto.com arena, there's not so much chance for that there as it is at SoFi. Tailgating is your friend, even at WrestleMania, folks. And if you're like me and you're going to SoFi Stadium for WrestleMania, you will very likely have a cooler full of, I'm going to give this cheap plug, even though he didn't give me a dime to do it, Broken Skull American Lager. Because yes, plenty of that. Bring your own freaking little portable grill your own damn hot dogs instead of paying $10 for one.
That's assuming that you drive yourself there. And like I said, I'm trying to discourage that because LA traffic is a bitch and a half when there's not a special event.
True.
I highly recommend the public transit, but if Mania is going to start at 4:00,
yeah,
doors are probably going to be 2:30, give or
hopefully.
take. I would be on a train no later than noon.
No matter where you're coming from. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Between 11 and 12:00, no later than try to be on your first train. That way, even if you're getting to the stadium at 12, 12:30, 1:00, I'd rather be there killing 2 hours than to be stuck on a train somewhere.
Yep, exactly.
Period. And again, Roscoe's, like I said, just down the street, the original location, huge SoCal landmark. Lots of celebrities come through there. So if celebrities are attending Mania, you might actually bump into them beforehand at Roscoe's.
Just don't ask them for a picture of the table or in the can, y'all.
Yeah.
For real.
There's pictures on the wall from when Barack Obama stopped at that location. Snoop Dogg, some of the original Death Row label mates used to make that a huge home for them.
Yeah, Snoop's actually regular over there to this day. So,
which is crazy considering that we had, I don't know if it's still there, one in Long Beach. The fact that Snoop would be the regular at the original instead of going to the one in Long Beach, which is where he's from, says everything about the original location.
I think he said the original now because Long Beach one closed. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I did here. So anyway, yes, G, the beer is awesome. That's why I have a case of it here in the refrigerator. James says real quick, thank you to everyone who retweeted my Deadlock Pro Wrestling Fire intro. Can confirm the boys Deadlock did see it. Thank you. Spread the word. Well, there you go. Thank you, and James. It was awesome. Like I said, I got to see it. I just couldn't get to upload in time for Friday because my technology at the other house was just being pity. So I do apologize for.
I love how he put including JJ because I'm the one making that show for Backlash, which pains him so it's one of those little thank you for all, including JJ. God damn it,
you too.
Need to do the Backlash, asshole.
That's right. So in the interest of shilling, I'll go ahead and start one of those shills right now. Because coming up on Thursday, we've been talking about it for a month. It feels like, but it really it's been a month. Our buddy Jenny Santana, the general manager of Ultimate Women of Wrestling, is actually going to be back on our channel here on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things on Thursday in this same time slot, 7:00 Eastern, 4 Pacific, and we'll try to simulcast on JD's channel. We'll see how it goes. She has promised not to come alone, so we'll see what all that means. I've been talking with different people on the roster, and we'll see how everything plays out coming up on Thursday, but we'll see how it goes. However, I will say this. They were very nice. Jenny and her mother, Deborah, sent me my own Jenny Santana shirt, which I had gushed about when she was at WrestleCon this last weekend, or a WrestleMania weekend. It says Santana on the front. Very, very cool. I like the design. Very, very Fallen Angel-esque. I like that. And the back says you found the alpha, which we know we're all about the alphas here. And I just saw it fell out also. A UWW beer koozie for my Stone Cold beer. Gotta dig that shit, right? So thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Deborah. Looking forward to seeing you, Jenny, on Thursday, and whoever you surprise me with. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. So thank you, both of you. I really appreciate that. We'll be wearing this tomorrow over on Talk Wrestling when we do the full multi-channel simulcast, 4-channel simulcast tomorrow afternoon. Let's see. Any other as far as ticket prices, I just messed up there. There it is. There we go. So ticket prices, again, that will literally be told to us probably after Survivor Series, but do not expect to pay inexpensive prices. You're going to a stadium for one thing. It's WrestleMania for another. And more honestly, and this is going to sound really weird coming from me with a guy who literally has half events on his table and loves smacking the hell out of it. I would, if you're coming from anywhere farther than Nevada, Arizona, or Oregon into California, the travel packages are your friend. Honest to God, they are. As expensive as they can get, you guarantee a seat for every WWE event. You guarantee a hotel, and a decent hotel at that. You guarantee a flight. I think they're still doing that, even though the pandemic's still a thing. I'm pretty sure they're still doing flights as part of the packages. So if you're coming for the full shebang, the best way to go is the WrestleMania travel packages. Now, if you're local, like he and I, I've tried many times over the years to say, hey, I know you guys are coming here. We're getting a stadium. It's going to be a thing. Let's offer something to the local Californians who have been without a SoCal WrestleMania for 17 years, 18 years by the time we get there to WrestleMania next year. Give us a ticket package, because I literally can get out of this driveway, go over to the freeway on-ramp, and be on the 405 portion of my trip, which is the longest leg of the freeway trip. I can be on the 405 and be down to SoFi in an hour and a half at most. I don't need to fly. I don't need to take a bus or I don't need to do that shit. Now, like you said, LA traffic is bad. We'll probably hit the red line and catch that way if Dad and I are taking the train by then. We're not taking the train now because pandemic's still. Ugh. But yeah, I would say don't expect to spend anything under 4 digits, and that's scary, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to find rooms for cheaper if you look for like an Airbnb.
Right.
You might be able to find flights cheaper, but you're still going to eat the cost by trying to buy tickets for every freaking thing between the Hall of Fame, NXT, both nights of WrestleMania, and then the Raw after if you choose to do that.
Yep.
That's 5 shows you're buying tickets to. The SmackDown before Mania, which more than likely will have the Hall of Fame like it did this year. So now you're looking at 6 shows. And that's not counting if you want to do any of the other shows from the feds that are running locally to try to capitalize on the fact that Mania is in town. You know, ROH may be out here doing a show. AEW may try to capitalize and do a house show or something in the area, or hold Rampage somewhere close by. You know, or Dynamite the Wednesday after Mania.
Yep.
You know,
a lot of
figure people will still be in town come Monday for the Raw after Mania. So, keep them a couple more days there. They'll come to the Dynamite after Mania. We'll run the same venue. We'll run Staples Center. We'll run
the Forum like they're doing now.
Forum. We'll run Ontario.
Yep. Considering that the June shows that are coming up here are the first time AEW's ran in California, you know they're going to want to come back in a hurry. And what better time than to capitalize again? You know, people will, oh, they can't be. It's like, yeah, you can root for both kids. It's really okay. It's really okay. So it wouldn't surprise me a bit if they did that either way.
If you're truly a fan of wrestling, whether you prefer professional wrestling, the raw sport side of it, or the more entertainment-laced sports entertainment side of it, you can be fans of both. There doesn't need to be that line in the sand that divides.
No, it really doesn't. And people, and again, I'm never going to understand the need to do that, but I'm just one of those guys, I guess. So with that being said, we are heading toward the top of the hour. Monday Night Raw is on the horizon. As you guys know, Cody Rhodes is making his first in-ring appearance on Monday Night Raw in 6 years tonight. So I definitely want to check that out. And by the way, JJ, James says you're fine. you muckerfutter. Although he's spelling muckerfutter wrong, so we'll have to school him on how to spell it properly. Bischoff, make that happen for him. Get on it. It's Futher is the second part, and it's usually one word. That's okay. So anyway, we will go right along. Of course, you can catch us every Monday right here on the Casa D-18 Studios and the Jeff Meacham Network for Dads with Ask the Dads. This coming Friday, our regular dad show is back as we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day and Tax Day if you're one of those freaks.
And needless to say, when we were at Frankensons, we saw quite a few ththings that would have made for excellent props for this show had it not been canned like 3 months ago.
Yeah, not only Frankensons, but a couple places in the Puente Hills Mall, which we were at for content filming as well. So yeah, there was a lot of options that we could have explored. It's like this is why we're still really cultivating the idea of doing Dads Live going forward, starting in May. So because
we might do the first one in May, the one that actually falls on The Rock's birthday live. Or no, that would be the week after. Never mind.
Week after. You're good. It's okay. That's okay. But yeah,
we may try that one live and see how it goes. But
right. Either way, there's nobody better at live than The Rock, and both our shows that month are about The Rock. So I just feel that'd be appropriate. But we'll see how, again, it's all tentative plan in action. Ken, we see you coming in, bud. You're coming in with 4 minutes to go. So if you want to ask a question, get it in. Get your shit in, as Brian Cage would say.
Put a super chat on it. Make sure it gets answered.
That's right, because I'm in plug mode at this point. So if you want me to see anything, I got to see it. So again, simulcasting to Talk Wrestling. We're going to be back at regular time slot tomorrow because I will be home in time by 7:05 West Coast time. So check us out there. Wednesday, the Greg Cherry Show. And as I mentioned, Thursday is the return of Jenny Santana to the Jeff Meacham Network to talk about UWW's event on May 21st. We're looking forward to that. And then next week, the return of the Greg Cherry's show, the Jack of All Trades. I'm not defending it anymore because I lost it, but we will definitely be showcasing that on the Jeff Meacham Network, or at least covering it. Rebellion coverage for Impact Wrestling coming up on the 23rd. Stat Boy Rants, God help me, I'm giving Mikey a life mic by himself, on the 28th. And the Dads closes the month out with our top 10 Backlash matches. That's all we have in April. And then
we might have to do a special Saturday open mic night.
Yes.
Just to push us over the threshold if we're not there yet.
Yes, we will definitely look into that option. And then, as Alexa's favorite band would say, it's going to be May. So there you go. Looking forward. And yes, that was a horrible dad joke, but it is Ask the Dad. So it is in context, people. It works for the moment. And Natalie, if you're still watching, God bless you for not cracking on me for that one. You probably will, but that's okay. Anyway, thank you all very much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Yes, we are going crazy. It is just bonkers. JJ's familiar with
membrane.
That's it. JJ is familiar with it only because NWA, we've helped school each other through going to Marquez shows and watching tape, and WWF 98 and beyond. Yes, for his fandom, and pre 98 for me, just talking about it like crazy. So yeah.
I'm familiar with more old WWF than pre 98, at least what I can get a hold of on DVDs and stuff, DVDs, VHS, Coliseum, home video.
Yes. His favorite all time is Roddy Piper. So that tells you everything you know about his old school mentality. So,
NWA, I know less than I know old WWF, but I feel like I'm knowledgeable enough, Ken. If you have a question for me about it, shoot it. If I don't know, I can divert it over to this guy.
So there you go. And please feel free to ask any questions. Just remember, Ken, we're on at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, not 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is usually reserved for our brethren at No DQ. But tonight, it's Monday Night Raw because it is Monday. And if you're on USA Network, you know what that means. So we're going to sign off now and say thank you all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated that you watch us each and every week here on the Dads. Always on wrestling.
Big G,
is.
Thank you for Big G. Thank you for that.
Yes, Big G. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that back up there one more time.
Yes, because we promised him we would plug it one more time.
Where to go? I gotta find it. Where to go? There it is. Boop. There it is.
Yes.
Thank you, Big G. Over to 50 mark now.
Yes.
And as James said, we're halfway there.
Area, go see JTG and Nick Aldis May 15th at the Baltimore Celeb Fest.
Ken, I'm gonna leave G's thing up there, but Ken says, "Oh, okay. I saw your favorite entrance themes episode. I think I'm the only one who loves the Joel Side Bro by Sleep." Yes, I think you are, Ken, and that's okay. We love you for it anyway. Thank you all very much, and yes, check out Jeff Meacham Network on Pro Wrestling Tees. Check out our shirts on Spring. It's all there, and that's it, guys. Thank you all very much. We will see you tomorrow for Talk Wrestling, and next Monday right here on the Dads. Well, that's the
And
Dads.
always on wrestling.
Yeah, what he said. Good night, guys.